It varies from like 15 to 1800. So I'm like
So you're legit. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. I wouldn't say legit.
But
I know the rules.
you know your
I've played enough games to like
Right. That's dope.
Damn. All right. 3, 2, 1. Low key, I kind of want to keep that in there. Just like keep the chest in there.
Bro,
We're gonna keep the chest talking.
Yeah.
I like it. Anyways, what's up, guys? We're back with another episode of SoulScape. Hope y'all are doing amazing. I've got 3 beautiful men next to me.
True.
Yes.
Did you just?
Don't worry about it.
So let's introduce ourselves. Jonathan, who are you?
I'm Jonathan.
All right, moving on.
You go, Jonathan, who are you? And he goes, I'm Jonathan. I'm Riyaan.
I'm Jay.
That's all we need to know.
That's all they need to
I guess
know.
so. Yes, these are all homies. I've known this kid for a minute, or known Riyaan for a minute, and then Jonathan Jai recently met y'all, and it's been great getting to know you guys. We went rock climbing today. That was really fun.
It was.
Appreciate you showing us the ropes.
Do you go consistently?
Yeah.
I've been like
3 times a week.
Deadass?
Yeah.
Damn. What's like the maximum like level that you can?
Dude, I fell off the last move of a V7 the other day. Bro, it was so close. Yeah.
I can't even like attempt V7. I've gone a few times. Like V4 is my cutoff. Like,
oh, this kid's crazy.
Yeah,
Bro, you should ask him about the toe hold, like the foot toe hold.
The heel
toe hold. That's crazy.
The answer is always an unnecessary heel hook. Even if it doesn't make any sense, it increases your power.
I mean, word, bro. Word. Anyways, Jay, you had a pretty cool topic that you want to kind of bring up, so roll with
Right. I mean, I thought about this topic while we were rock climbing. It's about the vocabulary that you use and how it affects your mind. A lot of the time, we talk in our own heads, right? And you probably have your inner monologue, and in that inner monologue, you probably use certain words that profoundly affect the way you think. And I noticed the words I was using often were absolutes, which was always or never, can't, won't, that sort of stuff. And I remember one time I was saying to Jonathan, dude, I could never do this when I was rock climbing. I could never get to the top. Yeah. And I was just saying that out of frustration because I was exaggerating the situation. But then Jonathan was like, bro, you totally can do it, just not strong enough yet. And that just clicked in my head, like, why did I tell myself that if I knew the truth? So one of the things is like, how do you go about fixing your vocabulary? How do you go about fixing the way you think, just so that you can get to the place that you want, so that you can improve yourself to do the things you want to do?
Damn, snap for that shit, bro.
I think it's an interesting thing because it's like, I think you see nowadays, especially like people are so like, they're so easy to like talk themselves or talk about themselves negatively, and then they don't even realize that they're doing it. It's like I had a kid in my class, like we're studying.
What?
A kid in my class.
Kid, okay.
Yeah, he was like, we were studying for a test, or like we're like whatever, we're reading for the test in class, and he's sitting there, he's like, dude, I'm gonna fail this test, bro. Like he's saying it out loud.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there, I look, and he just kept repeating it. He was like the same kind of vibe over and over again. I look at him at one point, I'm like, bro, if you keep saying that, you will fail the test.
Exactly.
I was like, stop saying that, bro. If you put the work in, you sit here and like you understand, like you set a plan, you just do it. Like, fuck what you say, bro. It's what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
like,
I'm glad you told him that, bro.
I mean, I didn't say it like that. I said it nicely, but like,
of course.
at the same time, I was sitting next to him, I'm like, dude, like, I don't need that energy next to me because it's gonna affect how it's contagious, bro.
Absolutely.
I'm just thinking I can't do it either.
Yeah.
So right.
It's
just
really
hangs out here.
important that you surround yourself with people who hype you up and hype themselves up.
Thanks.
Yeah, bro, cut that and put it in a reel.
I like the way you think.
I like the way you think.
Like, fuck, this is so good.
Exactly.
And like, just going off what Jay was saying, like one thing that really switched in my mind, and it was literally like an on and off light switch, and it changed like kind of my entire approach and mindset when it came to like feeling things and kind of dealing with myself, was I am anxious versus I am feeling anxious, because those are two completely different things.
True.
Right.
True.
And I used to be the person, like, talk to me maybe a year and a half ago, whenever I was feeling down or a little bit in the blues, or whenever it's just like something was going on and I was just in a negative mind state, I'd always say like, I'm depressed, I'm feeling, I am like feeling like shit, am anxious, I'm nervous, I'm scared.
Like you have anxiety. Like I remember like
Yeah.
at one point I
bro,
was like,
yeah.
I have ADHD or I have
Oh,
anxiety, or
yeah.
I have depression. Like that's even worse. Because
Exactly.
then you're like
Exactly.
fitting into a box. You're putting yourself in
Exactly,
a box,
bro. You're
bro.
putting yourself into a box before you even know the box doesn't really have to affect you if you don't let it, right? So I think once you make that literal light switch kind of change, where instead of saying I am anxious or I am depressed versus I'm feeling these things, that's when it all starts to change.
Yeah, another specific example I see, which is super common, is people say, with regards to fitness, they say, "Oh, I have bad knees."
Facts, bro. Like literally,
Like,
I hate when people say that shit.
yeah, or like, I have bad shoulders, and
Right.
they identify with this lack of an ability,
Facts.
Yeah.
and when in reality, they can improve. They can improve. Yeah.
Bro, I'm such a big like fan of mobility and like
Yeah.
gaining like control of your body, like end ranges of motion, all that shit. Like just specifically in terms of like the knees and stuff like that,
Bro,
bro.
do you know who the knees over toes guy is?
Yeah.
Dude,
ATG,
yeah,
ATG,
right.
my boy, ATG, that's the only way. That's
He's
the
got all
only
the
way.
books and shit.
Yeah.
Bro,
I brought his books,
actually,
yeah. I brought
my-
his books, yeah.
That's crazy.
Was it? Have you read them?
Yeah.
Were
Cover
they,
to cover.
Were they worth like the read? Like were they?
I already like learned and applied all of his stuff.
Mm.
So not for me because I already got so much value from all of his stuff he put out.
Mm.
But they're really concise
Mm.
and straight to the point. Very dense in their value.
Are they like based off of research though? Like I want to know like the efficacy of like what he's talking about. 'Cause some people will be like, there's no need to, you know, like go full range of motion or squat ATG. Like there's no need.
Dude, this is based on what he's said. He said that he's had like 10,000 different clients who entered his program with knee pain, and the results were incredible. Like, dude, so many of them, like
Yeah,
the vast majority,
yeah.
vast majority, super huge improvements. And like, dude, 10,000 people,
Yeah.
like a sample size that big, is very significant.
True.
But more importantly, I did it myself, and I found value in it.
Good.
So
That's
I
good.
believe and it works.
That's sick as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Shout out knees over toes guy.
Bro, shout out, yeah.
Shout out.
Bro.
We're watching you, bro. Much
Yeah.
love.
Bro, one day he finna be on here, bro.
Oh, true.
Bro,
He
this
called me on the
pod.
spot.
Like, yo,
Yeah.
date-
Bro, I'll call him up, bro. I'll
do
call
it.
him up. He'll have
Yeah,
for
you got it.
He'd be like, yo, Jonathan, shut the fuck up, bro. I ain't trying to. You
Yeah.
called me 20 times, dude. He just gets like a really fucking.
Bro, no, him and I are tight, bro.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, bro.
Well,
Definitely.
they get coffee every Tuesday, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You can adjust
I was
that.
with him earlier, bro.
That's what you mean by sex. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said that.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Going back to what Jonathan was saying though, in terms of like surrounding yourself with people and all that stuff, what do you guys like? What kind of changes did you see in yourself when you made that switch and surround yourself with people that were kind of uplifting and pushing you?
Bro, okay, well, I don't know who's gonna see this, but this is an experience that I went through literally 2 days ago. I realized energies is a very important thing, and you want to surround yourself with people who bring a net positive energy. And there's a lot of places where you can go and just drain your energy just because you're there. And I was dealing with this person. He was one of my coworkers that I had been dealing with for a long time, and we're working on this intimately together because we really care. And I realized a lot of the time when I'm spending the time with him, it just drained energy because I had some sort of resentment or something, and it was just in me to fix that, right? And then I meet people like you who boost that energy, and I realized, of course,
The mental and shit. I'd be crying.
yeah, I mean, this is the whole thing. Like, people don't really understand the energy. It's a very abstract thing. It's
It
only
is,
something you can feel, but you can totally feel it in yourself. When you come back home from a conversation, you're just completely dead. And I realized you need to take the initiative to cut people off. Maybe not just say "fuck you," I'm not talking to you anymore. Don't say that, obviously.
Like
but
create distance.
create the
You know, do it
distance.
for yourself.
Exactly, and because everything's a push and pull. You can't have something without giving something. You can't create time out of somewhere, out of nothing. So, making that distance allows for more positive energy to come in, and that's kind of what I'm doing here with you guys. It's just
Oh,
to fill that void, right? So hanging out with people similar to Jonathan has been very, very
Thank you, man.
beneficial.
That means a lot.
Yeah.
Something I want to know, guys, is I know I've noticed a pretty big difference between the energy of people in this city versus in my hometown, and I want to know if you guys have noticed this similar.
Oh, dude, cities have so much energy.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. Pace of life is just faster because of that energy. I don't know. You guys probably feel the same way. Come from New Jersey, Connecticut. I'm from Connecticut.
Albany.
Upstate New York. Like.
Buttfuck nowhere,
In
bro.
buttfuck nowhere. Nobody's doing shit back home,
True,
unfortunately.
dude.
So
Yeah.
I love the energy. That's part of the reason why I'm here, and I'm sure that's the reason why you guys are here.
Yo, can I tell you a story real quick?
Yeah.
Cause
Go.
to touch on that. So like I think it was last week or the week prior, I had flew out to North Carolina. This man, like, I woke up like super early in the morning, had to catch a flight. It was my first time traveling on my own, right?
Yeah.
And I had a layover flight, so I had to fly to Newark, and then from there I went to North Carolina, whatever, right? I got there to visit my friend from high school, so my best friend, right? And we've been planning this trip forever. He's been wanting me to visit, and I was like, fuck it, like, let's go, right? I show up there, and like, it's just a weekend. Like, we're just gonna go have a fun time. Like, he's gonna like take me to a bunch of parties. Like, we're just be drinking and fucking around, like nothing crazy, right? But I got to like when I went there, I was like, I told myself like, all right, I'm gonna observe how this man has been living, because he's my best friend, like. And he's doing his own thing.
Yeah,
like, I haven't really heard too much about what life has been like at. He goes to Wake Forest.
Where's that?
Just Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Okay.
But I flew in there, and when I was coming in, I was looking out the window, and there was absolutely nothing. No people, no civilization. Like, it was like a house every like 50 square miles or some shit. You're looking from the thing, and you're like, where are the people, bro? Where are the? And it was just grasslands too. Like, there's nothing there, right? We're driving on the highway. Like, everybody's driving like 40 miles an hour. Like, nobody's got any place to be.
Red flag.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're sitting there. We're both from New Jersey. My boy's weaving through traffic. Like,
Bro,
he's
that's
like,
why we speed, because we have stuff to do, bro.
We're in a place to be. You know what I'm saying? But the whole weekend, I was just kind of observing like what life was like in this place, and even when I just went for a walk, because I was just trying to like explore the campus, and low-key my friend was still asleep like when I had woken up, so like I just went out because I was trying to explore.
Right.
Nobody was out. It was dead silent.
Damn.
Like we take for granted, like, I guess, or I don't know if we take for granted, but compared to what it is in the city, bro,
It's different.
it was the first thing I noticed when I told him. I was like, dude, you hear that? And he was like, no, and I was like, exactly. Like, there's nobody around. There's no cars. There's no wind. There's no traffic. There's nothing. Like, you could hear a pin drop silence outside.
Damn.
And it was weird because that same environment, like, you could feel the same vibe with the people. Everybody was like really sluggish. Like, the whole weekend, like, everybody's and maybe it was just the end of the semester, so like it could be that. But
Maybe.
motherfuckers were waking up at like 3 p.m. Motherfuckers like weren't doing shit. Like, it was just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
very
I know what you're
sluggish, very
saying.
like there wasn't anything to do. There wasn't anything. Nobody was really. There was no hustle. There was no like. Nobody had any place to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No moves.
And then it was like I came back to Boston, and immediately I was like I had 12 things to do. Armand's at like we gotta go see people, or I gotta go like study for this, or I gotta go to this class, or whatever. And I was like, yo, thank God I go to school in the city. Like me, I'm just maybe I'm oriented to like that urban lifestyle, but dude, like this is like I need to be like surrounded by people. You know what I'm saying?
True,
like,
true.
and in that sense, it's weird because I still get the time to myself, but like I just know that there are other people also living their lives in this space. Versus I went to the North Carolina, we were hanging out with everybody the entire time, but it was like nobody was really doing anything. You see what I'm saying?
So do you mean that in North Carolina people were hanging out, and here people are hanging out but also doing shit?
It's like, yeah, like I feel like there's a sense of productivity that was kind of like that was lacking. And it was like the only people that like I saw that were on that kind of timing were like, I would say like I even asked my friend. He was like, yeah, pretty much the athletes are the only people you see outside. And everybody else is just like getting like stoned inside or like drinking like as soon as they wake up. Like it was low-key a bad environment.
Now, do you think that's because people are the reason why we're the way we are and we're meeting a lot of people who are motivated is because Northeastern and city schools attract those kind of people, right?
Also co-op, bro. Like it literally forces you to like start like thinking about that shit like as soon as you get here, because you're like 2 years you're gonna start working. You're like, where am I gonna work? What do I want to do? You kind of have to start thinking about those.
Yeah.
Things.
Now, do you think people are naturally built that way, or do you think environment influences it?
it's like nurture and nature. It's always both.
Now, how much of that did you see there? Did you see people that you thought had potential that just stopped?
It was. If I'm being honest, I was kind of disappointed to see my friend live in that kind of way, because I was like, me and him are exactly the same. That's why he's my best friend. Like literally, like we're like twins, except he's Spanish and I'm Indian.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or he's Colombian, whatever.
So, yeah.
But same upbringing, same fucking interests, same everything, and like to see my man's kind of like withering away, I was like, it's his environment. It was like he's a good bro. Man was like D1 soccer player in high school, bro. Was on track to like
D1?
Yeah, bro was like playing like he was trying to get on the team. He was trying to do all these things. No, he was really fucking good.
Yeah.
And he's a smart ass kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. And then I go there and I'm just kind of like watching, like just like 2 days was already enough to kind of be like, all right, like I kind of see like what's going on.
You've seen everything.
I didn't see everything, but like I kind of saw the trends. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw what life was like. Like I saw what a day to day was like. Because there was nothing going on that weekend. I just showed up on a regular weekend.
Yeah.
So to kind of see what like a regular day was like, I was like, man, you gotta change your environment. Whether that's the people, whether that's like how you're living your life. Wake up at fucking 6 a.m., bro. Like it's gonna feel like shit, but it's definitely better than you fucking, doing nothing. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, in that sense, I thought it was his environment.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, he's like, dude, I'm thinking of transferring. That was before I went. After I went, I was thinking to myself, I was like, yeah, bro needs to transfer.
Please do.
Like please, bro, anywhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
Armand, dude, I want to know. Yeah. You said that you were in like a bad spot like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
What did you do in terms of like changing your influences and the energy around you in that time?
Yeah, 100%. So I was in a really good, go ahead. I was really lucky because I was at a point actually where when I was at that point where I needed to make the change, it was around December or January, right? So I was actually
this year
of 2021, I guess, 2021 to 2022.
So last year.
So yeah, last year, so a year ago, right? December 2021 into January 2022.
1 year ago.
That was kind of like the point where I needed to make that change, right? And I consider myself really lucky because at that point I was changing my housing, right? So where I was in the first semester of college in 2021, I was like far away from campus. It just kind of sucked. I was very secluded in my own little like friend group. And low-key, if any of my friends or any of the people back that I was friends with back then, if y'all are watching this, please don't take offense. I really did not fuck with that group.
No, he actually hates all of y'all.
I mean, I guess so.
But like filtered for us.
No, for real.
But
like, I just wasn't with the type of people I wanted.
Right.
It wasn't this kind of environment, right?
Yeah.
So I was really lucky in the sense that the few weeks later, I had the opportunity to kind of start over. I had the opportunity to make new friends. I was living on campus. I was with new roommates, new environment, new mindset. Like, this was kind of a fresh start for me. So that was really helpful. But honestly, and that's why I met Rian. That's why I met my current roommate. That's why I met a ton of my good friends. And it was difficult to do that, but I knew I had to. And
what did you do?
I had to I was going to new clubs and organizations. I was meeting more people. I was like asking people to hang out instead of just seeing people, at the club, whatever club we were going to, whatever the gym or shit like that. Like I was genuinely asking people if they wanted to hang out. And I think that's really, really fucking important.
What was this? So this was all a re-identification where you rebuilt yourself, right?
Yeah. How
much did you moving out of whatever apartment or hotel you were in that was off campus, you moving on to on-campus housing, being in campus with people with a lot of like interactions, how much of that would you attribute to this re-identification?
Probably like 65 to 70%.
Very large.
Like a huge portion, because if I was still in the same place I was living my first semester, if I was still living there, bro, I'd be around the same people. I'd be depressed as fuck. I would be just wasting my time away and just like, it was shitty, bro. Right. It was so shitty. So I really emphasize the importance of like changing your physical location.
Can I, if I were to add something to that, I was in a similar position actually. I was placed in shitty housing in like the Weston. I was 15 minutes away. So yes, that I totally get that, and the physical location is so important. And one of the things is, isn't it kind of ironic that a really nice location where you have your own bathroom, your own TV with a queen bed, that's what my situation was, led to like probably the worst mindset I ever had because of comfortability.
Bro, talk to this kid about
Right?
that, because we were talking about how shitty the Weston was.
The Weston
Bro.
wasn't the physical aspect; it was the mental aspect. And I'm living currently in a forced triple, where there are rats.
IV?
No, it's in Hemingway. I'm paying nothing close to IV, but that I'm getting what I paid for. Rats everywhere. I'm sharing a bathroom with 5 people. But honestly, I am in the best mental state I'm ever gonna be, because the physical
the best mental state that you have been in.
that I've been in before, and I'm probably gonna improve my mental state. You're right.
Mhm.
And one thing I made a promise to myself is the material, physical, whatever. I'm sure you would agree, doesn't have as much of an effect as people do.
Yeah.
And I realized that the people I surround myself, even if it's a shitty place, has so much effect that I want to live in places like this where I'm living in a closet like a rat, because that gives me that energy to get out of my room. I'm no longer comfortable, and I'm forced to be uncomfortable. So that's one of the things. Like, I respect what you said, and that's a lot of what we have to do, because life today is so comfortable that we don't realize it. We don't realize that at all, and I feel like people like us, surrounding yourself with people who call your bullshit when you are comfortable is the most important thing to do. And that way you self-realize exactly what you're doing.
Jay,
Yes.
that's why I spend so much time with you, bro. Because you're so positive, dude. I love you, man.
Same here, man.
Yeah.
Same here,
And
man.
you too,
Dude.
Armand.
Yeah, man, yo,
But I specifically
appreciate that.
reach out to spend time with you
Thank you, bro.
because you're so
Appreciate that.
positive, dude.
Are we gonna
I
fuck
love
on
you.
camera, bro?
Shut up.
Are we gonna make out?
Shut up.
Alright.
Porno begins.
Podcast really starts.
Exactly.
Dude, I appreciate that. Much
I also want to give you a shout out, because one of the things that Jonathan is super good at, right? The juggle slut. He is so good at connecting people that have similar energies
Thank
to
you.
boost the overall energy.
It's compounding it.
Exactly. I met you through one of my good friends. I just randomly ran into you.
Yeah.
You were shirtless in the hallway of West.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy is an interesting guy. I gotta talk to him more.
Thank you.
And
Thank
the
you.
fact that I stuck around, I was just like, oh, I just want to talk to him more.
Yeah.
That's led me to you. And I'm sure that I'm gonna hang out with you both a lot more. And I'm glad that you're here to make it, man.
Bro, happy to help.
Of course.
Yeah.
Find yourselves a juggle slut.
Oh, thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so before today, the only thing I knew about Juggle Slut was like all the memes I've seen. Like, just like people commenting and shit like that, whatever, right?
Commenting like what?
Like they're just like, who is this guy?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah.
like, man was juggling in like 30-degree weather, like no shirt on. You know what I'm saying?
Did do that.
And I've
yes.
seen you as well. Like sometimes I'll sit in Centennial and I'll read or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I
there.
just see you.
And I'm there.
And bro, like you lucky Jack, which is even cooler. Like,
Yeah.
like bro has a reason to have his shirt on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cause like if you were like not fit or whatever, like you were fat, as
It wouldn't
fuck,
hit the same.
It wouldn't hit the
It
same.
wouldn't.
It
It
wouldn't.
wouldn't.
I'd be like, damn, he's still juggling, but I'd be like, doesn't hit the same. But anyway,
Anyways.
my question is like, can I get the origin story? Like,
It's
I can-
actually a really good origin story.
It's
Go ahead. Like,
No.
I'm curious.
Yeah,
like,
dude. Yeah. I have a dog named Bailey, right? She's about this tall and she's about this long.
What's the breed?
German something.
Okay.
And she's black. And I was playing ball with her one time, and she had the ball, and I was like chasing her around the coffee table, right? Bro, I was running, and I fucking slammed my toe against the corner, the leg of the coffee table. And so I broke my toe.
Oh shit.
So the bone. So I couldn't do my normal sport, which was cross country, anymore. And I was
You were
pissed.
a runner?
Yeah.
Oh,
cross country, bro.
Rest in peace.
Did that for like 7 years, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, and I broke my toe, so I couldn't do that sport, bro. So, dude, and you know why? Because of this dog. So, bro, out of spite, I took her tennis balls and started to juggle. And now I juggle. And, dude, the shirtless, it is... People think I go outside to juggle, but that's not it. It's because I want sunlight and fresh air on my body.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a bar.
Yeah, dude, and the juggling is actually honestly just a bit of a side benefit. Like, I think it's kind of interesting because some people might think that juggling in Centennial Common, that's the very big quadrangle in our college campus, would be weird. And some people might think that not wearing a shirt in Centennial is weird. It's kind of interesting because honestly to me, it doesn't feel weird at all. Like, not at all.
Bro, you're
It's
an
funny.
alien.
It's funny because when I'm
Wow.
no. Let me explain. I've been with this kid a few times juggling.
Yeah.
And of course, and you have if you juggle, you have to take your shirt off. That's not
Yes.
Well, I juggled with you. And
exactly.
I made a mistake. I didn't
You
take
did
my
make a
shirt
mistake.
off.
Next
That's-
time,
That's
next
why I
time,
didn't
bro.
juggle as
That's
well
why
as
you didn't juggle.
Yeah, that's
So, but the thing is, whenever I'm with Jonathan and I'm doing this, it honestly feels quite normal.
Yeah.
Cause like because we're having a conversation, and it's like a conversation like this, right? We're just shooting this shit, talk about some random bullshit, and it's funny because you'll get all the stares from people, especially they walk by, they're like, and like people will be whispering, they'll be like, and it's like you just see this all in the peripheral vision, and I'm not gonna lie, maybe this is an ego thing. It makes you feel like a badass.
Dude, yeah. Dude,
Definitely
yeah.
No, because like you're sitting there and it's like you can perceive the fact that you're being perceived, which a lot of times
Yes.
makes people uncomfortable.
Right.
What does?
Being perceived,
Yeah.
like when you know that other people are looking at you,
Mhm.
you're like a lot of the times people's first instinct is to like get anxious or to be like, oh my god, like everybody's looking at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nobody really knows how to handle that kind of attention,
Mhm.
especially when it's like they don't really want it or like it's
Yeah.
not up to them whether or not they're being perceived. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like I like that you guys
Thank you.
have like a different perspective, or it's not like it's like you are faced with that situation,
Mhm.
but then it's like you bring back that positive energy, and it's like you're able to,
Dude, yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting because I'm in a second year of college right now. So I did it the fall semester juggling, no shirt on. But I also did it all of last school year. And what's interesting is I actually did it all of 12th grade in high school, but in the gymnasium.
Nah,
Of course, shirt on.
nah.
Yeah, and this was like shirt on, mask on. So like nobody like.
It was a training montage, bro.
It
It's
was
okay.
weird.
Yeah.
Bro. It
Shirts
was
on.
weird.
Yeah, right.
Like
We
it
have
was.
to work our way up to the
It was
shirtless,
odd. It was odd. And I used tennis balls at the time. Stupid idea.
Why is that stupid?
Because if you're on the gymnasium floor and you drop the balls, they roll around and like 100 feet away. Yeah, so dude, like I'm no newbie to this, bro. Like I put in the reps, and I actually don't remember why I specifically started doing it in the gym in high school. Dude, I don't know. Like I did it over the summer because that's when I broke my toe.
God just spoke.
For
to
some
you.
reason, bro, God
He just
spoke,
told
bro.
you.
God
No,
spoke.
I think that's honestly pretty cool when it's like
Thank
you've been
you.
doing it for so long and like you're just so like into it,
Yeah.
like, you don't even remember like what got you into it.
Bro, yeah.
You know it's like a part of your life now.
It's so
You know what I
normal,
mean?
dude. It's
Yeah.
so normal. Bro, and dude, I love the celebrity status, bro. Such
Yeah,
a
added
champ,
perks.
bro.
Added perks.
Can I say something about this?
Yeah.
Juggle Slut has become an enigma. Nobody
Yeah.
can figure you out, and that's mystery is what sells you.
Yeah.
And I want to say, you have played it so perfectly
Thank
Yeah.
you.
with
Yeah,
this
all
whole
the
Juggle
cards.
Slut. Because you did not give yourself the name. Someone else attributed it to
Yes.
you, and then you went viral, and then you capitalized on that.
Yes.
That's some smart shit, man.
And I identified with
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. If you identify with an abstract version where you are now being
Yes.
perceived as this top
Mhm,
person,
mhm.
like I'm gonna say 1%, 1%
I know
of
what you
people,
mean, I know what
you
probably
mean.
less
1%?
less than
I know what you
1% of
mean.
people would actually be doing this.
that. Yeah.
They would get fuck juggling, taking off a shirt out in public and then juggling. It's
Yeah,
another
dude, that's
thing.
crazy, bro.
So,
yeah.
Like you identifying with
Mhm.
this new character, right?
Yeah.
If you
Because
wanna
it's a
call it.
character, yeah.
It's a character
Uh-huh.
that pushes you to become better because
Yeah.
you could say a Juggle Slut is now your epitome. That's what you're working towards, or if you want to.
I
keep
wouldn't
it at
say
that.
it like that. It's
How-
not something I'm working towards.
Sure.
It's more like just a nice character.
Nice
bro.
character to
Dude,
have.
just a fun thing. Like I'm
Okay.
not. It's not. Armand, what's up?
No, go keep going.
Okay, yeah. It's it's actually kind of funny because one time I met up with two people. I was in the gym and I ran into two people, and I knew these people, and they knew I was the Juggle Slut. And there was some third girl with them, and I was talking to my friends, and then there was this third girl, and
It's cute.
That's the first question.
besides the point. Besides the
Okay,
point.
I'm just
No.
And my friends were
In
like,
fact, he didn't say it, and she wasn't.
Yeah, you got your answer.
in my opinion, no. But my friends were like, yo, this is the juggle slut right here. And she's like, oh my god, I've heard so much about you. Like, what? I've never seen this girl before. And my two friends told me, yeah, dude, some people just know us as people who are friends with the juggle slut.
Literally,
what?
That's literally
You just gave them purpose, bro.
Bro,
Yeah.
You gave them
what?
purpose, bro. You
Yeah.
gave them meaning, bro.
Bro,
That's
I
crazy.
give them meaning in life, bro. They're friends of the juggle slut, dude.
What?
That's like celebrity status times like another degree, bro.
Yeah.
But it's obviously not like being the juggle slut,
It's
but
not.
it gives you a little bit of clout. Yes.
Bro, I love the clown.
You guys ever seen those memes where it's like work so hard that their biggest flex is that they used to know you?
Yeah.
It's the same
bro.
energy.
That's
You know
the
what I
same
mean?
we are,
energy,
bro.
it's just real.
Yeah, dude, and actually, I went home for Thanksgiving, and I had a photo shoot. I hired a photographer who was my age from the high school that I went to.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen this girl in 6 years, right? And she told me that, I didn't know this, but she told me that a bunch of her friends in my town were also joking about the juggle slut, bro. They all know me.
Oh, damn.
And I didn't know this. And also, one of my friends from the hometown, we have a sort of mutual friend. He's closer with this friend, who goes to Berkeley, close by in Boston. And he told me that this friend told him that all the Berkeley kids also know about the
So
juggle
this is
slut.
transcended Northeasterners.
Bro,
No,
what?
that's
Bro,
crazy.
Just
what?
beyond.
Cultural phenomenon.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, I just learned that.
Making waves, man.
Dude,
Bro,
yeah.
this is what I'm saying. Like, imagine we're gonna see Jonathan on Barstool in like a year,
Bro!
I don't even think it's gonna take that long.
Bro, in like 6 months.
Bro!
Yeah.
Bro, think about it, bro.
That would be
Think
so
about
cool.
it. Dream.
That would be so
dream,
cool,
bro.
dude, yeah.
Yo, wait, no. Cement that shit.
Jonathan,
Cement?
Cement.
Bro, that's not why I do it, bro.
Do it, bro.
I don't care.
Do it. Run that.
Bro, that's not why I
no,
do it.
that's the best mentality.
Yeah.
It's a byproduct.
It's
of
a
Yeah, I
doing
know.
byproduct. It's even more of a flex because you don't even need to do it.
I don't need
It's
to
still
do it,
happening.
bro.
Exactly.
Bro, it's just... Bro, firstly, you have to be an actual cool person to, like, have it. Because if I was a weirdo...
Yeah, that'd be really awkward.
That would
I'm
be
really
awkward.
happy.
Yeah, bro.
I'm really happy when I first talked to you that you. I literally
Yeah,
said
you
this.
told me this.
You were good at conversation, and I was
Yeah.
like, I was surprised.
Yeah,
I was
sure.
genuinely surprised.
Sure, yeah. Dude, like, sometimes I talk to people for the first time, around, and they just suck at talking, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And by suck at talking, I mean it's a very uninteresting conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I clarify that to make it sound better, but you know.
No, it's real.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about conversation, right? This is obviously a skill that you probably picked up. Nobody's born like that. I'm sure
No.
a lot of you probably became good at talking because you practiced it.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of experiences have you had where you probably were nervous about talking, and then how do you get over that?
The experience where I was nervous about talking, well, there was this instance where I went to Florida. I went on a vacation to Florida with my family. And we went to the beach, obviously. And I had just seen some content from some creator I know. It was about getting women, right? And bro, one of the second things is that you actually have to approach and say hi.
True.
Bro, so I kid you not, on this trip, bro, in one day, I approached 8 different girls at the beach, bro. 8! And I was terrified, bro. One girl even, bro, she was like a 9 out of 10 at least. At least. Yeah. Sorry if you're watching this. And dude, she was with her parents and siblings, bro.
That's crazy.
I was so
You're
scared,
menace.
bro.
Damn.
I was so scared, but dude, I built up to that point by doing easier things. And do you know what the easier things are? Pay attention, guys. Pay attention. Do you know what the easier things are? It's just talking to people,
Facts.
not just hot girls.
Facts.
You talk to men
Yes.
and boys. And girls and women.
There we go.
And girls and women and the elderly. And you just talk to a bunch of people. And guys, when you're good at talking to people, you're good at talking to people.
There we go.
He's spitting.
Put that on a shirt.
Bro, put that on your shirt, bro.
That's
Put that on
exactly
your shirt, bro. So the way I overcame it was to progressive overload it. Progressive overload it, bro.
There we go.
You
It's
do
working.
easier stuff and get more comfortable, and you climb the ranks, bro. And to me, so that's the methodology, but my motivation is that this might sound vain, and that's okay. But my motivation is that I don't want to get stuck with an ugly bitch for the rest of my life, bro. I don't want to have an ugly woman making my kids, bro. I don't want to have an ugly, and that was scary, bro.
The
And
genetics
that,
of, yo, listen, the genetics of my children have been like a,
Exactly.
like a point of focus.
Exactly.
Like it's a priority.
Yeah, dude.
Come on now.
Dude, of course.
and it was scary to me thinking that, like, my offspring would be ugly, bro. And, like, not have a good dad.
So you want some sexy kids?
Yeah, bro, yes!
Okay, wait.
Whoa, no,
Pause! He said it. He said it. Pause! Hey, yo! Okay, we're gonna rephrase that. Jonathan is gonna rephrase that. What do you want, Jonathan?
Yeah, I want my kids to be dealt the best genetic hand possible.
There we go.
Okay.
Put that on a t-shirt, guys. That was my motivation,
Good
bro.
save.
It was scary, that thought. I didn't motivate myself by thinking, oh, I had this really positive, awesome future with a beautiful woman, some awesome kids. I was thinking, bro, if I have an ugly bitch, fuck, I'm gonna be screwed, bro.
The way he says it.
Yeah, so dude, I had to progressive overload
So
it.
for all women watching this right now, for all female fitness influencers watching this right now,
Follow me on
Jonathan-
Instagram.
Jonathan is single.
True, ladies, yeah. So my point is progressive overload.
Okay.
Nah, no, you just gotta put the reps in.
Thank
it's
you. You
fast.
have to put the reps in.
You just
have
gotta put the reps in.
So is this like a 10,000 hours until you master it, or is it like a progressive? It's a spectrum. Like you probably
kind of both. But it's one of those things where it's like I actually read about the 10,000 hours rule.
Okay.
But it's one of those things where even by the time you get to anywhere from 6,000 to 8,000 hours,
I'll be back.
just like a certain percentage of the way towards
Right.
the 10,000. Because once you get to 10,000, you're a master.
Right.
Like nobody can fuck with you. You're a master of whatever it is that you spent the 10 hours doing. 10,000 hours doing. But when you get to the 6 to 8 range, it's like you're still so far ahead of everyone else who is only clocked like 1 to 2 or maybe even less or whatever, right? You're so far ahead of them that they already think that you're good. It's just you like perfecting it.
Exactly.
And that's a you versus you type thing.
Right.
That's where those last few thousand hours come into play. But even if when in terms of his progressive overload, like by continuously just like making it a little bit harder and then achieving that goal and then making it a little bit harder and achieving that goal and continuously kind of like pushing it for further and further, it's like you get to a point where it's like in the eyes of somebody who isn't doing that, you're like light years ahead of them.
Right.
Even if you haven't clocked the full 10.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's totally true. And sorry, Martin, I'll make this
No.
point quick. One of the things is like when I had like social anxiety. I'm sure everyone did, but like I always thought, oh, that guy is so good at talking. I could never be that guy. And that's the same thing. Vocabulary in your mind makes the difference. So I was like, okay, I'm already late. I'm like in high school. This guy probably did this since he was like a kid, and I would just rationalize it in my head. So a lot of people think like, oh, it's just like you're either it or not, and then that's the identification part. So yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's like even if you're halfway, you're probably good, and you're just perfecting it with the progressive order.
They interviewed Kobe one time.
Yeah.
And they were talking about his like work ethic and like how he trains and whatnot. And he was talking about how he wakes up at 4 a.m. He trains from 4 to 6, like 2-hour session. Then he'll eat breakfast. Then he'll train again from 9 to 11, eat lunch. Then that was him just training by himself. And then from like 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 or whatever, it was like the group, like it was the team training. Like he would train with everybody else.
Right.
And then after that, we'd go home, hang out with his family, whatever. And then from like 9 to 11 at night, he would train again, go to sleep, do it all over again. He was saying that all of the sessions that he did on his own, 2 hours here, 2 hours there, 2 hours there, he did that every day. He said none of the other athletes were doing that. They were just showing up to regular practice, and then they were getting their 3 hours, 4 hours, and they were going home, and that was it. And then they're living like a basketball star. Like you do whatever a NBA star does with their time, right?
Right.
But Kobe was like, it gets to a point where when the season comes, or in the off season, and they're training hard because they want to come back good in the regular season, he's like, I've been training that hard every single day, regardless of what time of year it is, regardless of what time of day it is, whatever. So he was like, it doesn't matter how much work they put in the off season, they still can't catch up to me.
Yeah, bro.
It's like I've been doing this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not even. Sometimes it's not even about like how hard you're willing to work in a given moment, but it's like how much work are you willing to put in over a period of time.
What do you think about the idea of taking breaks between semesters? Because I know a lot of people what they like to
What do you mean about a break?
A break.
Like winter break?
No, I'll explain.
Yeah, go ahead.
People do a lot of work during the semester studying, lots of work, and then a lot of people what they do is they take, say, a mental break to just do nothing and like watch videos and watch movies. What do you think about that?
But wait, how long? Like go
How long
further
is
in
the
depth of that break. What do you mean?
Well,
Like for winter break is 3 weeks long.
Oh, okay.
So what do you think about taking a 3
I'll
week
say this
break?
much.
Yeah.
Me as somebody who is like for my major and for the things that I want to do, it's very academic. It's very academia heavy. Like I've been in the library since last Monday.
Sure.
Clock in at least 8 hours a minimum, like every day, just studying.
Wow.
Like it's bad. Yeah.
Wow.
I've been
Okay.
I'm burnt out, bro.
Okay.
Like tomorrow's my last day. Friday at 8 a.m. is my final, and then I'm gone. And thank God, like I want to go home, bro.
Okay.
I'm done studying, bro.
But what are you gonna do instead?
So my thing is this: given that context,
Yeah.
I can't wait to go home and have nothing to do. I can't wait to go home, sit on the couch, and be like, I'm just gonna sit here, and I don't know, watch a TV show with my dad or some
Okay.
shit, or like just go outside and read a book, or sit in my room and mindlessly scroll on my phone.
Okay.
Because I have not had time to do that. At the same time,
Yeah.
it gets to a point where like after a few weeks to maybe like a month, and that's like a very generous amount of time.
Sure,
That's
sure.
like me giving myself the full amount of time to just do
Yeah.
nothing,
Super large amount of time.
right?
Yeah.
After whatever amount of time that is, it's like I get sick of it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
by the time winter break's over, I can't wait to come back to school.
Mhm.
Because I'm tired of sitting there on my phone doing nothing. I'm tired of just like watching the same TV show over and over again. I want to go back and start hustling again. So it's like, I think you need to, it's one of those things where it's like, I always say this, you gotta find the balance.
Mm.
It's like, you should be able to balance out working extremely hard
Yeah.
and then giving yourself the time to just like, almost be idle. They say being bored is actually a healthy thing. You should, you should try and actively seek out moments of boredom
Mhm.
throughout your day or throughout your week.
Dude, I want to ask you, because didn't you say that Kobe worked really hard and grinded regardless of what time of year it was? So it sounds like, and Kobe became a really good basketball
Kobe's
player.
Kobe,
Exactly.
right?
So, but it sounds like you just said that you're not doing that.
Well, do I look? I mean, this is my thing. I would like to one day achieve Kobe status.
Why do you
Whatever-
think you will if you're not working
Because
all the time?
it's progressive overload. Do you have to rest between sets?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But dude, I don't think this is the same thing.
I think it is. I think by continuously pushing the boundary just a little bit.
Mhm.
So the amount that I'm able to do. When I got here first semester, I was not able to clock 8 hours a day. My God, I wasn't.
Mhm.
I wasn't able to clock 4 hours a day.
Damn.
I wasn't even studying. Period. Like I just wasn't.
Okay.
And it's like now as the challenges increase and the amount that they demand from me increases, I can either meet that challenge or I can just coast or fail or whatever.
Okay.
I decide to meet that challenge, so it requires me to push a little bit harder.
Okay.
At the same time, I think it's one of those things where it will always and forever be a work in progress. I don't think you will ever achieve. Even Kobe was probably continuously pushing that boundary
Yeah.
to the point where it didn't even matter how further he was going. We all just saw it. We were just like, damn, Kobe's just on another level.
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't even fathom like the type of timing he was on.
Mm-hmm.
In that sense, my goal is like, I know for a fact if I started training like Kobe right now,
Mhm.
I'd drop off. I'd fall off.
Okay,
I
okay.
wouldn't be able to.
Okay.
I don't think anybody would be able to. You have to work up towards that.
Dude, I want to ask you. You just said that before. You said that you were working really hard, right? And that you're just about finished with that period, and then you're gonna take some amount of time off, right?
Mm.
But then you were just saying that you had to build up over time to get to the amount of work that you did. You're doing 4 hours a day, and now you're at 8 hours a day. You built up to that, so why not just keep going at 8 hours a day of work?
I'll be so honest, bro. It's like
Because you said you got to that point.
I've learned this about myself the last year or two that I've been at school.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I am trying to get to the point where I thought about this a lot. Successful people, I have a thing. I think that there's a trend about successful people. Their resting rate of work,
Mm-hmm.
the amount of work they can just put in like mindlessly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without really having to like put in like actual effort. I want to get to the point where my mindless amount of effort
Yeah.
is still higher than the average Joe's genuine amount of effort when he's actually working.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In order to do that, though, I have to train myself to just be able to work, like, whenever.
Yeah.
Like regardless of how I'm feeling.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I'm 19. I'm trying to be a doctor, my guy.
Okay.
That's what I want to do. I want to be a doctor. Right? It's like I could start living what a lifestyle of a doctor is like right now, but I honestly don't think that would be entirely constructive to my goals. It's one of those things where it's like I could sprint up the mountain, but how far would I go before I literally get gassed and I literally have to sit down and drink water and like, or I'm literally laid out on the floor. It's like how far could you go up the mountain before you literally just like sprawled out on the floor because you couldn't go any further?
So what do you think your ability is right now for mindless work?
Pretty, like, it's definitely improved for that matter.
Okay.
Like I'm trying to go like a 4.0 this semester.
Okay.
Like, and I'm like this close. Like this last exam, I'm this close, bro.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there, I'm like, I set out a goal. All right, I set a goal for myself this semester, and I was like, all right, bro. Nobody's stopping you from doing that except you. So regardless of how you feel, regardless of what's going on, like in your life, emotionally, mentally, whatever, even physically, like there'd be days where I just feel like shit. I'm sore as fuck after the gym, but it's like I'm still gonna go to smell. I'm still gonna fucking like sit down and fucking like try and like understand this information because I know it's gonna help me in the long run.
Maybe I'm not understanding something you're saying because you said that when you get home you're gonna do a lot of relaxing and stuff. So are you going to maintain your level of mindless work?
No.
No, why not?
Because I'm a firm believer if my circumstances are giving me a period of time in which I can like fully recoup like my body, my mind, like even, and this also just goes back to like when I say I'm gonna do nothing, that doesn't mean nothing. I'm not just gonna be on my phone every day.
But that's what you said you were gonna do.
Okay, well then I take it back.
Okay.
Like that's not what I mean when I say I'm gonna do nothing. When I say I'm gonna do nothing, I mean I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna spend time with my family who I haven't seen in fucking however many months.
Sure.
Like I'm gonna be cooking for myself. I'm gonna be spending time just with myself.
Yeah.
That I haven't been able to do that because guess what I've been doing since I got to school? Working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm gonna go and like go with my brother to the gym hella. And like I've been going to the gym every single day. But I'm saying like I haven't been doing that with my brother. You know what I'm saying? So I want to go do that with him. I want to go get massages because fucking my shoulders all fucked up because I was doing.
You mean your shoulder doesn't feel good and isn't strong, bro?
Well, I
shoulder
have like
being fucked up.
I have a rear delt impingement. I was trying to fix it. I'm a firm believer you can fix your shit.
Okay.
It's not like oh it hurts. I'm just gonna leave it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do anything.
Okay, you clarified.
It's like bro, it's like do something, bro. Like trust me. Like stabilizing muscles, rotator cuff. I do hella band work, bro. Like trust me, like,
Gotcha.
we try and bulletproof our joints, bro.
Hell yes.
That's
Bro,
a come on now.
Absolutely.
Come on now.
Dab me up, bro.
Yes, sir.
Dab me up.
But it's just for me. It's one of those things where it's like the time. I think the thing that you're getting caught up on is the time scale. It's like I like to use the analogy of like being in the gym and like taking a break. Like you have to take rest after a set, right? You go like especially if you're working up to a PR, right? If you're gonna do sets to work up to a PR.
What's the metaphor comparison for a PR in real life?
PR is just whatever the idea of perfection is that you're trying to, or like that like long-term goal that you're trying to achieve.
Okay, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's, for me, like I've been chasing, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I've been chasing 225 on my bench for like a year now. Like not even exaggeration, like dead ass, like 365 days I have been like trying to fucking hit 225 and I just hit it maybe like a month ago.
Stud. Nice.
Right? The best feeling ever.
That's awesome.
Best feeling.
I bet.
And it's like now I'm able to hit it consistently for like I only get like 2 or 3 reps, but like I'm able to do that consistently.
Stud.
But the reason I bring up the gym is because like in that sense you do a heavy set, you rest for 2-3 minutes, you let your body kind of like flush out the lactic acid, like you let your blood flow, you get oxygen back to your muscles, you let your nerves like I don't know like rejuvenate all the the electrolytes so that you can you contract your muscle again on the next set. In that same metaphor, you take that time so that your body and your mind can recoup. In that sense, I'm gonna go home and just kind of not be idle, but be like at peace with not having anything to do, or not having work to do. You know what I'm saying? In that sense, that's my little rest before my next set, which is next semester. Next semester, I'm maxed out on credits, bro.
Yeah.
So it's like I could go home and continuously just work.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'd work on. Maybe I could like apply to jobs, whatever. I could figure something out. But it's like I then have to worry about my next set, which actually matters, which is in the spring. So it's like, do I go hard as fuck if I'm feeling burnt out now? Do I continue to go hard as fuck and then come into spring, continue to do that, I like at some point I know that I have a limit. Like I'm human.
Sure.
I'm trying to become the strongest human I can possibly be, but I'm still human. So I have that. I'm aware of those limits. I'm also aware that they can be pushed. So that's I think the dichotomy of what we're talking about. It's like you should have that that drive to like improve, to just push it a little bit further every single time. Because then if you keep doing that, eventually you'll look back and you'll be like, damn, we came far as fuck.
Yeah.
Moving inch by inch, but then you look back and you've gone miles. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like you have to I don't know. I guess you have to just that all doesn't happen in one shot. Okay. It takes time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's ebbs and flows. That's just how I see it. That's how I treat my life and the way I've structured my how I do everything. It works for me because I have periods of time in which I'm on. Like go mode. My family won't hear from me. I'll be fucking you know what I mean? Tapped in. Yeah. But then I think if I'm able to do that side of the extreme, the other side of the extreme is me not having anything to do, almost and I honestly enjoy the times in which I'm bored. Okay. I enjoy the times in which I literally have nothing to do, and I'm like, thank God, I don't have 18 lab reports to do right now.
Dude, that's actually really interesting because the most unhappy time of my year is when I have nothing to do.
It gets to be like that.
Yeah, dude.
If it's prolonged, dude, I always say my biggest enemy is being idle.
But you just said that you like the times when you don't have something to do.
It's a time thing, bro. It's you can if you were working hard all week and then I gave you a weekend off, would that not be a nice little weekend for you to just chill out? You're telling me you wouldn't want to just I
probably would, yeah.
Right?
I probably would. Yeah.
In that sense, if I had a semester of hard ass work, I want 3 weeks of not having anything to do. Interesting. It's relative.
Like that.
It's relative. That's just how I see it because that's just the way I've kind of.
Well, of course we allocate our time in the way we think is appropriate for each of us.
One thing about
Sorry, go ahead. You go ahead.
The boredom part that you said is interesting because you probably need that pause to realize that you need to do other things. Boredom gives you space to make ideas. That's what I realized. So when you said the lowest points in your life is probably when you're bored, it's obviously extended and you can't go in any extreme. You need the balance, of course. But in that period of time, you probably realize what you needed to do, right? And that's how, after that, you're probably at the state you are now. So what do you think about taking time to look at everything from a bird's eye view and then make a course correction? Because you can't be going beeline blind. Because a lot of the time when you're in that stage where you just go, you make a premeditated destination and get there. And once you hit the destination, you need to know where else to go, right?
What's the next
point of destination?
Exactly, because if you hit here and you're still going, you're going away from where you were before.
Yeah.
So that whole pause is necessary because once you reach a place, you gotta know where else you have to go, and that's that phase. You can't let that phase last too long, obviously. And I think for some people it may be 3 weeks. For you, maybe 2 days. Maybe. So it's per person thing.
It will be very interesting if we talk about this after winter break.
After break,
we see what happens.
Yeah. So after winter break, I'll tell you right now how I'm gonna sound. I'm gonna be yo, I'm so glad to be back at school. New semester started. Let's go. New possibilities, new people, new everything. Yeah. Exactly. Right. I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, bro. I'm gonna come back, bro. If we have this discussion, or when we have this discussion, after break, bro. I'm gonna be thank God we're back. I spent my time at home. I got all of the boredom that I wanted to feel out of my system. Okay. Now I'm back, and it's time to go. It's go time. You know what I'm saying?
Personally, the way I look at it is dude, whenever I go home, especially for these breaks, especially summer break, but even these winter breaks when I go home, even Thanksgiving, bro, I felt this. When I go home, and I know you could relate to this too, I realize how much I want the things I actually want, in the sense that I realize that the life I live back at home is not the life I want to live, and it's it kind of shows me, I don't want to say how shitty it is, because my home life is not shitty at all, but what I mean is, that it
doesn't align with your vision.
It doesn't.
The vision that you have.
Exactly. It doesn't align with my vision. So it's kind of that's why. So for example, right now, going home in a few days for a few weeks, I'm not necessarily thrilled and super excited about it, but part of me also knows I need it in terms to ground myself and reflect. Because as you guys said, like boredom is a time for you to maybe realign where you want to be. For me, that's like my reflection. It's my time to look back on the past semester, see where I did really good things, where I could have improved, and what I could do better in the future. And like that's why I'm such a big advocate for like constant journaling, for introspection, for things along those lines, which give you time out of the day to consciously reflect about the time that you spent and how you've acted, because that allows you to then realign yourself and figure out what your next plan of action is.
I think one of the things, because you were asking me like, oh, but you said this, but then you meant that.
Yeah.
I think one of the distinctions I would like to make is that there's a difference between not doing anything and then having nothing to do. And what I mean by that is, when I go home, it's not that I'm not doing anything, it's that I have nothing to do. So I have all the time to sit down and read the book that I want to read, or the one that Armand just got me, or hang out with my family, or catch up on the show that I didn't watch, or go to the gym, or water the fucking plants, or swim in my pool, or fucking do yoga, or go rock climbing, because I haven't done that in who knows how long, bro. I fucking love rock climbing, but I haven't had the time. So it's like not having anything to do gives you a problem to solve, which is, what should I do? And it's not one of those things. I'm not saying that I go home and I just sit there and I just I become mindless for 3 weeks. I go, I catch up with my friends, I fucking like go get a fucking slice of pizza that I haven't got.
Bro, pizza.
Bro,
Real.
this is a big tangent, but like, dude, I miss pizza so much.
Real, bro.
Oh my goodness, bro, I just need a slice of pizza for my fucking like.
Dude,
but you see what I'm saying? Like,
in my opinion, it's a bad thing. Like, what do you mean by? I'll rephrase that.
Go ahead.
What do you mean by you don't have anything to do?
It's like I go home, all the work that I have is done.
The work that you have, what does that mean?
It all exists, dude. I'm on a pre-med track, so all the work that I have is just through academia. It's through Northeastern. It's through school.
Yeah.
It's like I could go get it. Like I don't have a job right now.
Yeah.
I'm waiting till I'm about to apply to co-ops, and like that'll be a thing. Maybe I'll get a job when I go home. It's only for a month, so like who knows.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that like when I go home, like the semester's over. All the work that I had that was through school is now gone. That's like pretty much all I work on.
Maybe what I'm trying to say is, what about the work you give yourself?
Well, that's the distinction I'm saying. I'm saying I don't think of that as work. I think of that as just shit I get to do for me. That's not work.
I think that is work.
Really?
Yeah.
So I feel like then for me that's just me doing me. That's me living my life. That's not work. That's just me living.
I think
that's me going to the gym. That's me hanging with my friends. That's me like doing all the things that I want to do, not because they're gonna get me any further towards my goals or anything like that, but just because they're things I want to do.
Okay, yeah, the stuff I'm talking about is stuff that does get me closer to my goals.
See, like,
so why?
Like give an example.
Okay, something I want to do is learn how to grow my social media over the winter break. I'm thinking I'm gonna look at some free stuff, some free videos on that first, and then perhaps buy an online course of how to do that. And I would consider that work, even though I want to do it. Specifically because I consider it work because it gets me closer to my goals.
No, I see the difference.
Whereas hanging out with my friends, that is me just living my life.
Yeah.
It's not work.
Yeah.
So,
no,
it sounds like you don't have work going on in your life.
My work exists here.
But why doesn't it exist?
Because my goals are different than yours. I don't, as in like, I'll be honest, like, I haven't really thought about ways in which I could like spend my free time to somehow get closer to my goals, because right now my goals are like truly oriented through like the academic system.
Maybe could you clarify what your goals are?
I want to be a doctor, my guy. It's like, what can I?
Okay.
I'm not saying that there isn't anything I could do. I just really me just giving a thought right now. It's like I couldn't really come up with anything that like I think would like somehow get me closer to that on my own time. Sure, I could go, and I learned that I'm constantly learning new things every day. Like I'm constantly like on YouTube or
What's
just,
something
like,
you learned
reading
recently?
books. How to terraform Mars with lasers, like just random shit.
Shit, how do we do that?
You basically you have to like we could like funnel the light from the sun using mirrors in space to then like create lasers to then like basically zap Mars. basically a lot of the Mars' atmosphere is dead, and that's a reason why like nothing grows there. The soil is dead.
Sure.
Dead. It's a tangent, but the idea was I was reading it.
Well, that sounds like entertainment, though. That's not going to help you make more money or become a doctor.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's entertainment.
I
That's not learning new things, in my opinion.
I know, but but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really like. I could go read Grey's Anatomy, but I'll be so honest, like I don't want to do that.
What? Say that again.
Grey's Anatomy is like this like really old ass like anatomy book.
Okay.
It's like everything that you need to know about being a doctor is in this book.
Okay.
I don't want to read that though, because it's like 2,000 pages.
Okay.
And it's like sure I could spend my time doing that. At the same time, it's just like I don't know. If anything, I've committed myself to like this long-term journey, and I don't really see the need to like rush it, or to like kind of hustle in the times where like I'm given a time to like not do so. Because if I don't have the choice to hustle when I'm at school. There's no choice. I have to hustle when I'm
No,
here.
you don't. You could just drop out and not be a doctor.
Well,
that's a choice.
But that's not in his head.
That's a choice.
I don't give myself that choice. That's not a choice to me.
Okay.
That's not even an option. It's either I achieve my goal or I die.
Okay.
Like
sure.
that's it. If anything, I've made it so black and white for myself. I can't die because I don't want to. So the only other option is to achieve my goal. Like in that sense, I've just made it easy for myself in that sense.
Okay. But you know that doesn't actually represent reality.
I know.
Okay.
There's a million other things I can do with my
Okay.
time. I've just committed myself to one
Sure,
thing.
sure.
That's one thing. You hold beliefs that probably don't represent reality just to keep yourself in line of your goals, right?
Pretty much.
So
I know that's not reality.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes.
But you choose not to believe it because you know it's going to be detrimental. Why
Yeah,
hold beliefs
same.
that are detrimental to what you want to achieve, right?
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
and you probably know. I remember talking to you about this exact thing.
Mhm.
Your goal is to be a doctor, but that's like your work goal. You probably have a lot of goals. One of your goals is probably eat pizza when you get back home.
Literally.
So that's when you're doing goal setting, you have to distinguish what are your actual goals. And for Jonathan, correct me if I'm wrong, but basically everything you do is a goal in your head, right? Like you view it as a goal. Like,
I wouldn't say everything I do.
but most of the things.
Yeah, most
probably
of the things.
it's not just get your degree at Northeastern. That's
No.
probably not your only goal.
No, it's not.
Right?
Mhm.
And then if you're viewing like a lot of other things as goals,
Mhm.
and the things that you do towards those goals are work in your head,
Mhm.
so then that premonition, the definition you give to work,
Mhm.
you work, you do actions differently because you view them as work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if I were to say that me growing a social media to me is not work,
Mhm.
then I probably wouldn't put in as much effort as you would.
True.
So
Dude, maybe.
potentially.
Yeah,
right?
potentially.
Right. So I feel like it's probably a definition thing you guys are
Yeah, maybe.
arguing over, or
It might be.
I like to. I always see the word work with a slightly negative connotation, just because when you think about like the social view of work, it's like the 9-to-5 grind. It's like nobody really likes their job. Like you know they're kind of in the cubicle, whatever. Like that's me when I think of like work, right? Or that's like the socially kind of like
Social construct of work.
social construct of work, which I think everybody can agree upon, which is like nobody wants that. Like nobody in this room wants that to be their future, right?
I don't want that to be my future.
Neither do I.
Preach.
I'd rather die than do that. You know what I'm saying? Like be stuck in traffic like for the billionth time, like go to the job I hate, like in the grass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But I think like part of the reason we have discussions like this is because we all have like visions for something greater than that, and we're hungry for that shit. Like we'd rather have that than any of the fucking bullshit that they plan on giving us. They being like the man.
I know what
You know what I mean?
Man.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Corporate America, whatever. But it's funny because like
sounds like.
Yeah.
I maybe it's just like the way I've been like primed through media or whatever. Like when I think of work, work is like sometimes work isn't always something that I want to do. Work is something that I have to do, that I know will get me closer to where I want to go, regardless of how I feel about it. Like today, like I was sitting there like in the library and I'm like, however many hours I'm in, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, like I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go home and fucking just sit down and do nothing, or just like just chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to be using my brain to like study chemistry right now. Like,
Bro, what's your point?
my point is that like you were saying that like we have a slightly different definition of it. I think you see work with less of that negative connotation, so you're more willing to like kind of put your active effort into a wider variety of activities that will somehow further develop you in the long run.
Yeah.
For me, it's like I kind of compartmentalize my life, where there are periods of time in which I work and periods of time in which I don't,
Okay.
and that allows me
makes
to
sense.
maintain balance throughout the
Mm.
long-term scale of it.
Yeah.
Because if I work all the time, bro, especially with like the specific goal that I have in mind in the context of like what that means, I won't make it, bro. I won't.
Dude,
I'll drop out or I'll burn out or something.
Okay, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Jay, I really like what you said about holding beliefs that don't represent reality, but are useful to have. One of the big beliefs I have,
Ooh, I like this topic.
I'm trying to think.
You already knew?
Bro,
Well, no,
trying
I'm
to
already
think
thinking
of a
in my
belief
mind.
that I have that doesn't actually represent reality.
Oh, can I get?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I've got one after you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, go.
I don't know. This is just a kind of like silly belief.
No,
right?
it's not, bro.
But it's silly because it's obviously doesn't represent reality.
Sure.
But the reason why I'm saying this, sometimes I walk around thinking I'm 6 foot.
Oh, damn right. Oh shit, let's go. That's fine. Let's redo that.
It's one of those things where I'm like, I know I'm short, but like there's all these preconceived notions. You're socialized. There is something that other people say, and they're applying it to you, and you either believe that reality, right?
Yeah.
Or not. And I walk around and sometimes, and I know this is like something I'm working on is an ego thing, but if you walk around believing something, you are your beliefs. You are whatever thoughts are in your head. And I believe that's one thing. Like whenever I'm playing basketball, if someone's like, if I feel like I don't want the ball, I'm just gonna no, you're 6 foot. Now you can ask for the ball and just shoot. That's how I see it. And sometimes I miss like really bad, but like at least I did something, right?
Oh yeah.
It gets you over that hump. And yeah, totally. That's like one of the silly ones. I'm trying to think of a better one. Maybe you got something.
Yeah, well, first on that, I'm with you on that shit. It's like assume the identity of the person you want to be,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Or you want to act like. So I was in my class the other day. This was my comparative ethics class, right, where we talk about like ethics, morality, and like thought systems. We were talking about the American dream, right? So the question that was posed to us is like, do you believe in the notion of like the American dream, in the sense of like, if you work hard enough, you could get anything you want. There's incredible social mobility in America, all those kind of ideas. And this was my response. I said, personally, I believe, yes, I do believe in the American dream, because I see the alternative as far more negative. Because if you believe that, and let's say like, because we all know America's fucked up.
Yeah.
We all know the institutions and the systems, and we'll talk about like the prison system or the education system or the food system or banking or
Improvements can
housing.
be made.
How
Pretty much
there's a
anywhere.
lot of fucking problems here.
Yeah.
But if you take the mentality that even if I put in the work, I won't get what I want, and that there's no social mobility, and I won't, and like the world is an unfair, just place and cruel, and it's the worst thing ever. If you assume that mentality, you're never gonna get to the top if that's what you want to get. So me personally, I have to, even though the reality is that America is fucked up and there's a lot of problems with it, I still take the belief that no matter what the circumstances are, if I put in the work, if I put in the effort, if I put in the 10,000 hours, if I put in all the love and dedication and passion towards the work I want to do, I will get to the top. And I think that's sort of like a quote-unquote irrational belief that is incredibly beneficial.
Bro, yeah.
Incredibly beneficial.
Bro, yeah, I just remembered a belief I have is that I have the character traits of that someone would need to have in order to have control over $10 billion. I think that's something I want to do at some
Can you
point.
list out like some of those?
I was gonna say,
traits?
Reese like,
Well, what are some of those traits?
I knew the face.
I think I'm really immune to peer pressure.
Immune to peer pressure.
Yeah, immune to peer pressure, and I'm really comfortable. I think I'm really articulate in the things I say, and I think I'm really good at communicating things simply.
That is
so that people can understand what I'm saying, and I like to think I'm good at making people feel like important and heard, and like identifying, identifying that I've heard what you said, and also
He's got those communication
I'll be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Bro. Just like I don't know if you guys also do this.
Yeah.
But like, do you ever like pick up on people's body language, eye contact, like the way they're like when they're listening to you, or when you're just conversing with them?
Yeah.
Even now, like just the way we were talking when we were talking about like our like whatever we were talking
Yeah,
about before, or that conversation, like you were maintaining eye contact, your posture was up. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. It's like you don't even have to be like, even if you weren't tapped into the discussion, like yeah, you don't have to be doing all this, but just those cues alone, like I could tell like you actually were listening to me, you were understanding what I was saying, you were like thinking about it too, and then we were having a discussion about it. It's like you'd be surprised how many people don't even understand like that to be a skill. Like that's something you can work on.
Yeah.
Most people are like, bro, they just want to hear themselves talk.
Bro, yeah.
They don't care about what you say afterward. They don't care about what your opinion is or what you can contribute to the conversation. They just wanted to hear what they have to say.
Bro, hopefully I was successful in this. I asked you a lot of questions, right?
No, that's a good thing though.
Exactly, and hopefully that communicated that I was paying attention and wanted to learn more about you.
Don't even question it for a second, bro. The fact that it was funny too because you asked me these questions, which allowed me to like kind of think about my own process of thought about it, and then I was able to like kind of refine my own ideas about it, and in that sense we were able to come to a higher consensus together.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have been able to do that if you weren't asking me these questions.
Dude.
Modern-day
Oh my
Socrates.
god, bro.
Modern
That
day
means a lot.
Socrates.
thank you.
Yeah, so like if anything, don't question it.
Thank
like,
you.
Just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't thinking about it, just like
Thank you.
you good listener, bro. For real.
One thing you also do really well, I don't know if you noticed this, but like, I'm pretty sure you did this on purpose. When other people are also talking and someone is jutting in because they're not listening, you'll also say, hey, hold on, this person was talking.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that.
Thank
I love
you.
that because you not only take initiative for yourself to start listening, you will also encourage other people to start listening, which is a very good trait.
Thank you.
Yeah, I noticed that and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
It's
Yes.
like, I cut people off way too much.
Yeah, that actually is intentional. And I guess I didn't think about it like that. And in my opinion, it kind of just feels like the thing to do.
Yeah, sometimes it's rude.
Yeah.
Like they're just
Yeah.
interjecting, and you're like, yo, like that person was speaking, bro. Like,
Exactly right, yeah. And that goes back to the making people feel like important thing.
Yeah.
And I think I'm pretty good at that.
And this is the biggest thing, right?
Let's hear it.
Negative energy, that's the one that's a big contributor. If you're not feeling heard, you're expending energy, but nothing's being received. So it's just wasted energy.
Yes.
So if you're not being heard, you feel that it's a negative energy because nothing's going into it, nothing's being built up. So that's sort of the experience I was going through, and you have to cut people out.
Yes.
And I like that.
Yes.
That's exactly who you need to cut out. If there's a concrete thing, that's the thing. If people don't listen to you, that's what it is.
because I was gonna ask you a question. I was like, have you guys seen that one clip of Jordan Peterson? You guys like?
I know who he
Yeah,
is.
of course. I love it.
I love this guy. He was saying how if you're surrounded in a room, one of the people in the audience asked like, what do you do if you're surrounded with people who like don't listen to you or like they don't want to hear what you have to say? He was like, you have to stop talking. He was like, he said what you said. He was like, if you're putting out all of this information, you're putting out this value. He goes, and the way he said it was beautiful. He was like, you devalue your own ideas and your own thoughts if you tell them to people who aren't listening to them.
I love that motherfucker, bro.
You devalue your own thoughts and ideas.
Yes, bro.
If you offer them to people who aren't willing to take, who aren't even willing to hear you or to understand.
Can any of you guys think of an example of when you were trying to tell somebody something, but then like they weren't listening?
Literally,
Every
middle
day.
of the story, and you just see everybody like tap out of the story, and I'm like, I just shut up after that. I'm not gonna fuck it. They didn't want to hear the rest of the story. I'm not gonna tell the rest of the story.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a bomb ass fucking story, bro. Y'all are
I
missing
was,
out.
I was trying to entertain y'all, and y'all weren't interested. Like I'm done. That's it.
Real shit.
I'm not even like hurt or anything, but it's just like why would I waste my time?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But you can't save people, bro.
You can't, bro. You can only save yourself, bro.
Exactly.
You can only save yourself.
This is very important because the victim mindset, I think you were talking about it with the American Dream. When people are talking about these systems and they're evil and you can't do anything, you're taking away agency from yourself, which doesn't give you the ability to solve your own problems. And that's what kills you.
Exactly, bro.
And then you stay poor.
Can you explain that more? I don't really understand what you said.
So what that means is basically what you said, right? You can't control people. You can't make someone listen to you.
Yeah.
You can only control whether you speak or not.
Yeah.
But say you were in the spot where like, man, I wish people just listened to me. Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen. You're gonna have to work on how you talk. You're gonna have to work on bringing up your energy so people start listening.
Yeah.
You're gonna work on getting actual stories that are interesting.
Yeah.
That gives you agency. But instead of having a
Define
victim
agency. What does that word
agency
mean?
means that you have responsibility over yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
I see.
If no one else is gonna help you, no one else is gonna make other people talk to you. Of course, people like Jonathan will help with
Yeah, but
that.
they're one in a
But there's
million.
no guarantee.
One in a million.
So
Jay, I want to tell you, dude. When you said when you gave the example of, oh God, I wish people would just listen to me, bro. I cringed when I heard that, bro.
Right?
Yeah, that is
Right?
so like
because that gives
down here,
it's
bro.
down there.
Yes.
And I feel for people who say that because I'm not gonna say, "Oh, you're stupid," because that's a fair thing to think. If you're constantly like shooting threes and missing, you're not getting the validation. Obviously, you're like, "Oh, maybe it's everyone else," but you're afraid of putting that responsibility on yourself, and that's what you have to learn. That's really the big thing.
Dude, it's literally it's once you start taking responsibility for your life and your actions and your future, and you truly take responsibility. You don't just say like, oh yeah, I'm responsible. No, you truly mean that shit. Everything changes.
For real.
What do you mean by truly take responsibility as opposed to?
I met so many motherfuckers that are like, yeah, bro, like I'm in control of my life. Like I know, like this is part. Like if I want something, I go get it. But they're not taking any
They don't do
actions.
shit.
Yeah.
They're still fucking jerking off 8 times a day and fucking living.
Bro, I could
spending.
stop. I could stop, bro.
No,
Yeah.
no, bro. Look at all the kids addicted to Nick. They're like, I can stop anytime I want, bro. They go up a flight of stairs. They're like, and I'm like, bro, I'm asthmatic and I'm not that bad.
Exactly.
Bro, you want an inhaler? Like, I'll give you it. Like, it's bad, dude. You see it all the time, and it frustrates me and it hurts to see people that I want to see them do good and I want to see them fucking accomplish great things, but they just don't want to take responsibility.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
Like, what is your take on the idea of like, kind of facilitating that growth, but for other people? Like,
I'm not sure I understand what you mean by that.
basically my idea, because me and Armand have talked about this,
Yeah.
where it's like, I personally have the belief that, like, you can't, like, in the way that we just said that you can't really help those people, like, they can only really come to those conclusions on their own. It's like, how do I say this? My belief is that, like, that is true, and that you really can't help them, and that they're honestly, like, they're kind of destined to just go down that road. You know what I mean? Armand kind of had he had a more positive view on it, or like a more like how do I say, optimistic viewpoint, in the sense that he was like, he actively goes out of his way to try and like help people like change their ways, or to like try to like see the light.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Passive
me-
type shit.
Yeah, for me it's almost like, maybe I'm just like, I can't be bothered, because I'm so focused on me. And it's like,
Damn, bro.
I don't know. Maybe that's a bad thing.
Well, that's a really unique perspective, dude. I actually never thought about that before.
Do you guys, just a quick question, do you guys have siblings?
Yes.
Siblings,
I have
older or younger?
Younger.
So you probably know this. You as an older brother, probably could, enforce your beliefs that are good in your head, and it's probably objectively good. Yes.
Subjective. I don't know.
Subjectively, but objectively in your head, it's gonna be.
We know
good
what you
for
mean.
them,
We know what
right?
you mean.
Yeah.
We
You
know
know
what
what I
you mean. Yeah.
But have you ever had the time where you like go to your brother and say, "Hey, bro, why don't you just do this?" And they're like, "Nah, I don't understand." They don't have the life experience to understand what you're saying because you're saying it from your perspective. And the way I'd say about enforcing your beliefs, and you do a good job of not doing it like too blatantly, like saying you should do this, no prescription. But the way I would go about it is leading by example, showing what they could be, and then saying if you truly respect me, you could become like me. Then it's more intrinsic motivation, saying, "Hey, I want to become more like you," and in that way, you're being accountable to them. They're looking at you, and they're not feeling like, "Oh, someone's forcing me to do this." I want to become like this, and then I'm intrinsically motivated. So that's a conversation I actually had with my brother, like literally last week. One of the best conversations I had was he's in 9th grade.
Good brother, bro. Good brother, Jay.
Thank you. I've been trying to work on it because my whole life I felt like I wasn't a good brother until like recently, and it's one of those things where like I was talking to him, instead of saying, "Hey, why don't you just study harder?" Just, like he was like not doing well in math. I'm like, just study harder, do this, do that. That's prescription. He's gonna get tired of that. And what I would say is like, hey, here's what I did. This worked for me. I don't know if it's gonna work for you, but you could try it. And I did well in this, whatever. And he took that to heart. He wasn't complaining or saying, "Oh, I don't want to do this or do that." So, I mean, it is no perfect formula. I am sure that you probably tried the same.
I like the way that you put it. It's just a different way. It's a different way of like presenting the same information. You know what I'm saying?
What's a different way?
He's basically saying instead of being like, here's everything you're doing wrong, and you should change right now, because that'll make you better if you change. Like nobody wants to hear that. Like here's everything you're doing wrong. Nobody wants to sit there and look at their life and be like, nobody's gonna be like, yeah, they're right.
Damn, I suck.
Yeah, damn, I suck.
Nobody's gonna say that.
I'm a loser. Like nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
But it's more like, hey, like I know you want to improve, and I want you to improve as well.
Mm-hmm.
Here are like constructive, like I don't know, like suggestions, or almost like instead of being like,
dude, the phrasing is really important. Like, what if perhaps you did this?
Yes.
Yeah.
What if perhaps you did is some key wording that has served me very well.
Because it's crazy. Because at the end of the day, like we being me, and then whoever the person is that I'm trying to like, who I also want to see improve, we both like want the best for them.
Right.
Me and that person included. But it's crazy how like you still have to like frame it in a certain way, or else they won't receive it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, kind of going off that, like the way I always going back to what you were talking about, how like when I see someone struggling and maybe they're at a point in their lives where they're looking for something, maybe they're coming out of a relationship,
Sure.
they are really depressed and like they kind of want to get out of that, they're unhappy with the way they look, like whatever ordeal they're going through. My opinion, and the reason why I am the way I am in terms of like I like to help people is I told you all about this, you all know this, I'm very into Buddhism, and specifically like there's this one idea of like the bodhisattva, which is like this human who they themselves have reached enlightenment, and instead of transcending the mortal realm, instead of transcending the physical body, and go to the spiritual realm, they choose to stay here and help other people reach enlightenment. And that's like one of the big ideals. And I'm not saying I'm an enlightened individual.
I was about to say, bro's bottom like Buddha.
I'm not saying that. Like that's a very egotistical kind of fucking like whatever thing to say.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if I have the opportunity and the chance to help others, I will gladly do so. And the way I do that though is, and I'm a big believer in this, and this is also a Buddhist saying, don't wake up people who are sleeping. All right, and there'll be times in your life when maybe someone's going.
Damn.
Yeah. Don't wake up people who are sleeping.
That's good.
Right? Because I'm gonna let's stay in real life. You ever woken someone up who's fucking fast asleep? They'll wake up. They'll first be confused. Then they'll be annoyed at you.
Literally?
Yeah, literally.
Literally.
They'll be confused, then annoyed at you, and then push you away. Those are the three things that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So and think about it like this: if you try to tell someone these ideals, these crazy like new ways to look at the life or practices to take on, if you tell them that when they're not ready for it, they're gonna get confused, get angry, and push you away. So I only introduce these kind of ideas to people who are receptive to them, who are open to listening to them. So for example, you guys both know Jack. Jack Roth. I introduced to he's one of our friends, he's kind of like part of this group. I introduced him to Stoicism and sort of some of those ideas about 6 to 7 months ago. When I found him, we were in the sauna,
butt ass naked.
Two naked ass sweaty men talking about, he was going through a breakup. And I introduced him to some of these ideas. And what I noticed is he was very open to listening. He was asking questions. He was, he had good eye contact, like, right? He was communicating well, one might say. But he was slightly sleeping, but he was somewhat awake. He was starting to wake up.
His eye was cracked open a bit.
And that's when you start to like, people ask me, well, how do you defer when to introduce these ideas or not? And I think when you see people start to get up and awaken, that's I think when you could kind of maybe hold their hand and help them along the way, or show them just directions to go in. Not even that you have to hold their hand along the way, but just show them, like if someone's ever asked you directions when you're on a road trip, right? And they're like, dude, how do I get to this town? And you're like, just go there. And you just slowly guide these people, and you gently touch them in the right direction, and they'll figure it out on their own.
See, I like that much better, because like me going off of my own experience, it's like I would like to think that nobody really guided me to like the mindset I have today. Like I was able to kind of like like I was definitely in a point in which like a change needed to be like I was asleep.
You were asleep.
I was.
And
I
when was this?
Like as soon as I got to college.
Okay.
Like pretty much like end of senior summer going into college and then all of my first semester.
Okay.
Like it was bad low key.
Okay.
Like, I was in the West End, depressed as hell, anxious as hell. Fucking, I thought I had ADHD because I was like fucking all over the place. Like wasn't going to class, was waking up mad late in the day.
Sure.
Plus Boston weather like was the first time like I'm big on like you said I take my shirt off to get the sunlight exposure and the air on my skin.
Dude.
Bro, that like people don't understand how like we're humans, we need that shit, bro.
We do.
Like me, I wasn't getting any sunlight exposure for maybe like 2 or 3 months straight. I was waking up, the sun was setting. It was like 3 p.m. I was waking up.
Vitamin D.
Nah, for real. Like it was bad. It was bad. I need that.
Damn. Yeah, you do.
So it was just I was spiraling. It was one of those things where it's like I got home and I had that winter break, and I reflected on all of it, and I was like,
and what'd you think? Yeah.
Dude, it was like I was like I can't like there is no other there was no option to continue like that. Like there like I
The other was you could just keep doing it.
Bro, like I would not have.
You could just be a loser, bro.
No, it was.
You could just be a
Not an
loser.
option. Not an option.
Nah,
Mediocrity is not an option.
No, but it wasn't even on that type of shit. Like, bro, it was like a low point in my life.
Sure.
Like it was like, you ever hit rock bottom? It's like
I don't think so.
Just the idea of the metaphor of rock bottom. You can't go any lower, bro.
Okay, yeah.
It's rock bottom for a reason.
I felt like that before.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like at that point, I looked at everything and I was like,
yes.
The only way to go is up.
True.
So if the only way to go is up, motherfucker, like get in the rocket ship and go up.
Mm-hmm.
Like don't climb don't inch your way up. Go as fast as you can with all of your fucking effort.
Yeah. And speaking, Armand, you said something about people being.
Oh, now look at us, bro. We up.
You said something about people being open to like new ideas and something. And this is actually one of the reasons why I respect Jay so much, dude. I tell you stuff. Like, you know, we all have character traits that complement each other. And you guys definitely have, you, Jay, have character traits I want and skills I want. And one of the reasons I respect you so much is because I tell you things that you might not be happy that I tell you, and you're just so receptive to them. And that's why I respect you so much, dude.
Thank you.
One of the reasons, yeah. And I really am impressed by your ability to do that. Because very few people I know can do that.
It ain't easy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
facts. No, that's big facts. Because most people, they tie up their identity with their beliefs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or rather, like, they tie up their self-worth and what they believe with what they believe in, and their value as a human being with their beliefs. And I don't think you do that, which is a very good thing, because when someone contradicts your beliefs or challenges you, you'll defend them and say, you know, this is what I think, but you're not afraid of listening to new ideas. And I think that's a really good thing.
Mm-hmm. Was there a point in your life where you weren't like that?
It's interesting because it comes down to an ego, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're too closed-minded, then you're not gonna grow.
Absolutely.
I noticed that there's so many people better than me, right?
True.
And who am I to say that, oh, I'm better than you and I know more?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things is I was grown up to like respect elders. Like you couldn't say the whole point was like they probably know more than you, and there's a balance too. If you are too receptive to ideas, then you have no foundations to stand on.
Right.
That's the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't go on the other side as well, but you also have to stand up for your beliefs, but still be malleable enough to know when you're wrong, and that's when you drop the ego.
Well, it's a sense.
There's a
Which
sense.
beliefs
Exactly.
should I take on?
Yeah, and then that's what I mean. Like you stay flowy, like you stay malleable. You can't be air where you're just like everywhere. That means any idea that comes at you, you're just going with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in those areas, those states too, which is terrible because you have no direction. You're a ship going in circles at that point. You're just sailed by the wind. You're just going wherever. You don't have a port to land in. But then when you come across like people like you, and or anybody who's giving you a real outside perspective view and looking at you and saying, hey, I'm saying this as respectfully as possible, but I think that this is actually detrimental. It's harming you. And if you're too blind to see that it might be harming you, you're just going down the wrong path. I've seen that happen with a lot of my friends.
Yes.
And I've seen.
Oh my God, yes.
And it's one of those things where it's not even like motivation or anything. It can get pretty in a complete opposite way, where like when they don't listen, they take drastic action that they would regret. And it's unfortunate that happens, you know. And I've
Can you
seen that.
think of like an example of something
Yeah,
what something might do?
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time understanding what you're saying.
It's like they'll go out of their way to like do the opposite of what you were saying just to spite it, like.
Is that what you mean?
Because they're like not receptive towards like the suggestion or the criticism.
It's like,
Yeah, you're good.
my friend in high school committed suicide.
Damn, bro.
That's what I mean.
Damn.
That's what I mean. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah, and that's what that was my waking point actually. Yeah, that's what I mean when they're not receptive, because they don't hear that other people love them, right? And that's why that's where I learned that even at that point, my friend committed suicide, and I was also pretty much thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where like you wake up, you realize it once you know that drastic action has been taken, and then you realize the consequences. He had so many people who loved him that he didn't know, because he was in his own bubble, isolated, not receptive to new ideas, or just receptive to other people's words, because he lost all trust. He had I don't want to say it's an ego, but like he just stopped
It's like
thinking.
hope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He lost all hope, and it was a tough thing to do, and I'm sorry for people who are that way. I hope it is a reminder, right? These things happen, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the concrete. If I were to pinpoint it to why, like I think that way. It's
Well,
like,
that's the consequence. Sorry.
yeah, I mean, that's a drastic thing.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that people can do, and it's always keep an open mind, and stand for your beliefs. Like you probably have core principles that you should stand on, these morals and ethics that you developed over time. But also know that other people around you care about you, and they're probably saying things with good intention to help you. And that's what I realized, and that's why I take in a lot of things, not as in they're out to get you or trying to manipulate you. I have that optimism saying some people really do care about you, and take that with love. That's the whole point.
Yeah, dude, a whole bunch of people I know, especially from back home, when I tell them that I like buy online courses to learn new skills, their first reaction every single time is, "Bro, you got fucking scammed, bro. You got scammed."
Yeah.
Every time.
It's too.
Every time. It's interesting that they always assume that if I pay money to someone, that they duped me. What do you guys think about that?
Well, what kind of courses do you take?
I bought one course about how to build a business from scratch.
Nice.
Like you find the product you want. Yeah, you want to like you identify the skills you have, and then it's how to build a business, bro. And because I got it like 2 months ago or however, or maybe like 3 months ago, and I haven't made profit from it yet. People are like, "Dude, you got scammed."
Yeah.
But like, I'm learning skills from this, bro.
Bro, knowledge is.
Yeah.
priceless.
No. My
If you
point.
were able to learn something from it, bro, that's.
Bro, yeah.
priceless
My
information.
point is that. No, before they even know about it, they assume that people are out to get me. People are out to get you. Which is an interesting way to look at the world.
In a way, it's that view is reinforced by a lot of the systems that we see. Like I don't blame people for having a very cynical worldview.
Interesting.
Like it's one of those things where it's like, especially if their life experiences have been harder than my own. Because I'm not sitting here saying that I've had the hardest life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like far from it, actually. I think I'm pretty blessed. You know what I'm saying? So when people come and they're very close-minded to new ideas, it's like I never resent them or like ridicule them or like think less of them because of that. It's like I don't know the experiences they've been through.
True.
But it's one of those things where it's like I don't yield from my suggestion or my, because like if I care about that person, I'm not gonna just like step away from it if they're not receptive. Like I'm one of those people, like I'm stubborn like that. Like I'm gonna continue to try and like,
Interesting.
especially if I think that
Sure.
it'll benefit them.
Sure.
Like I'm gonna continuously like I'm gonna keep like banging my head against that wall.
And of course, this is with people you really care about, right?
Only people I care about.
Okay,
That's the thing.
okay.
It's like people who like I'm acquainted with or like who I don't really know that well. Like I'm friends with them.
Bro, yeah.
I'm not wasting an ounce of my energy.
Sure. Yeah.
But because like it's like me, I have my close circle, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's very hard for me to let new people into that circle. It's a time thing for me at least. Like I have to get to know you.
For sure.
And like for me, it's like some people are not like that. Some people like they're so easily they can make. My brother's like this, bro. He can make friends with anyone, bro. Give him like 2 hours to anybody, they're best friends. They know everything about each other. They know fucking like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I look at that and I'm like, how the fuck?
It's younger
How
brothers.
the fuck did you know what happened on his 7th birthday, bro? You just met this kid. Like what?
It's crazy.
Like
It's crazy.
it's crazy like that. It's like I think it's a skill. I told him this. I'm like, bro, you have like an innate ability to like connect with people like that.
Yeah.
That skill for me is like something that I've had to nurture. I've had to like try and like improve upon that skill. And I think it's worked to some extent. That also comes with the idea of like putting yourself out there, literally just doing the progressive overload with talking to new people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that shit that like I've done as well, and like it works. It truly does. Like
It does.
Like we're already wired to be social animals. If you're flexing that muscle in your brain to go and be social, it's gonna improve. It has to.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
So
No, I think that's good.
kind of got diverse off. I lost my main thought, but
Yeah.
it just goes back to me being like in terms of like being trying to how do I say like present people I care about with new ideas or to present new ideas to people I care about.
Yeah.
It's like if they're not receptive, that means that there's something wrong with my approach. And I have to like find a new way to try and present the information. It's good, like in order for them to try and accept it.
That's interesting because
They've gone through their stuff. They've got their wall up.
True.
Yeah.
So it's not about there's a wall there. Why'd you put a wall up? It's more like how do I go around it, or how do I go underneath it, or how do I go over it, or whatever.
That's
Or
interesting.
how do I break through it?
Exactly.
Whatever the metaphor is.
Most of the time, breaking through the wall damages what's behind the wall. So you gotta be
word.
careful. You gotta be careful.
Ooh, my man just spat some wisdom.
Bro.
That's like ancient Chinese.
So then,
like,
yeah, you have to be gentle about it. You
Yeah.
can't just burn the whole thing down or break through it because it's like you're gonna damage everybody around you.
Exactly.
So it's like, how do you kind of make them forget that the wall's there? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well, how do you get them to take the wall down?
Yeah,
There we go.
to bring the wall down. Yeah. And that's
Bro, that's an interesting perspective that you have, because, dude, I tend to give up kind of quickly with like helping people with that stuff because, I understand my energy is limited, bro, and the amount of energy I can give to people is limited, and I've had so many instances of where I reach out to people, and this is specifically with respect to like, knee health, ankle health,
Yeah.
and this is the example I'm thinking of. And I send them these resources, and literally, like, one time out of, like, 30, or, like, 2 times out of 30, people have actually, like, done this stuff. It's super low success rate. So I'm figuring, why would I even do it in the first place?
So can I interject?
Yes.
So this is why, and I think this is overall. I'll explain to you. I was gonna tie into Rion with this one, but this is like. Whenever I meet someone and maybe they reject my ideas I bring to them or whatever, or maybe they think they have some sort of fundamental core belief that is incredibly different than mine, and usually most people are like, oh, that's so weird, that's awful. Instead, I take the mindset or the approach that's, if I had every single circumstance and every single experience and lived the exact same life that this other person had, I would come to the same conclusions, right? So with that mindset, and I think a lot of people reject that, if you try to come and help them and you give them all these resources about knee and ankle health and taking care of it, they're probably rejecting that for one reason. It's because you're not a trained professional. And they see as trained professionals the only authority figure.
Right.
They
A lot of people do think that.
They associate authority with knowledge, right? Which isn't always necessarily the case,
Man. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So let me say this. Because of that belief, and I think about it like this, right?
Ooh.
If I lived the exact same life they did, I would also associate authority with knowledge, and like blind obedience to that, right? And anyone who says otherwise as trying to give me like false information or hurt me, so I wouldn't do it like
You
that.
just meet it with skepticism.
You meet it
What do they know? How do they know that?
Incredible skepticism.
Yeah.
So instead of, and that's why I'm with Rihanna with this, like you have to find a way through, and maybe immediately it won't happen. Maybe in that first text of sending some of these resources and they don't look at them, it may not work. But if you hit them up a month later and you're like, yo bro, how are your knees and ankles? And they're like, yo bro, they're still fucked. And I'll ask, have you tried any of the exercises? And if they still say no, then I'm like, bro, if it's not getting better by itself, why don't you just try this? And I'll send them another video.
Oh, that's good.
One thing I tried in the gym, because this kid came up to me and like he fucked up his shoulder or something. I watch hella videos about like how to like rehab your shoulders and shit, your joints, and like promote joint health and all that stuff, right? I'm big on that. Somehow he knew to come to me and ask this question. I don't know. I warm up for like 30 minutes before every single one of my workouts. If you see me, I do full body warm up. It's all like stretching and yoga, whatever, right?
Really interesting.
He came up to me and he asked questions like, dude, like I fucked up my shoulder. Like, what should I do? So he came and he asked, right? And I was like, all right, bet. My thing is this. It's like, even if they're not asking, and this was my response, I only gave him one thing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to give him the whole fucking regiment.
Absolutely.
And then he wouldn't touch any of it because he would have been like, this is too much.
Yes.
It's like overload for them.
Absolutely, yes.
Give him one thing. I was like, just try this. It's gonna take you through all the ranges of motion you need for all parts of your rotator cuff. Like you should be able to like stabilize your shoulder joint a little bit. And then he came back to me. 2 weeks go by. Like I forgot about this kid. I ran into him again in the gym. He goes, dude, I tried the one thing that you said. Bro, my shoulder, like it's fine now, like it works.
Hey,
and then it's like the best feeling that I had.
I love that story,
because I was able to like somehow like touch this person's life and like impact them in a positive way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. They were able to see like a bit of the light that I'm trying to give off to other people. So
yeah, when you're talking to people and trying to inspire them, it's really important to clearly say the one thing they should do.
Give them one thing that you want.
And that's after you determine that they are receptive, of course.
And he asks you the question.
That's what I was saying. If they're gonna approach me, bro, there's nothing, like there's no reason why I shouldn't help them.
100%.
This is the same reason. Or we were talking about cold approaches the other day.
Yeah.
Like if you ever get,
he's a cold approach enthusiast as well.
Yeah. I got cold approached by somebody the other day.
A woman?
Yeah.
A woman.
A woman.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was in a coffee shop and like this girl just came up to me. She was like, I just think you're really cute. Like whatever.
Wow.
Nah, for real. I was like, I'm like, where are these women, bro?
So rare. Okay.
I didn't realize women did that.
Rare as fuck. No, for real. Bro.
Yeah,
I told her.
It happens very rarely.
First thing out of my mouth was, I'll be so honest, like, this is the first time this ever happened to me before. Like,
And she's like, yeah, I know.
She was like,
yeah.
For her ego went through the roof.
Yeah.
Nah, for real, bro. I was sitting there trying to like keep my composure because I was like, I don't know.
You're like,
I was like, what do I do? But it was just crazy because I was like, here's this person, a stranger really, who like just like inserted themselves into my life with the intention of like, trying to get to know me better, whatever. She thought I was cute.
Get into your body.
Yeah, what? Man, I'm not picky, bro.
She was cute.
But it was one of those things where it's like, there's nothing I could possibly even think of that would like, how do I say this? Like, there's no reason why I shouldn't be receptive to somebody like that.
I disagree with you.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, go.
Well, I've been talking a lot. I want to hear what you have to say, bro.
Yeah, I like Jay's. Jay's really funny. Because Jonathan's not funny.
Jonathan's the funniest man alive. I don't know
Sorry,
what you're talking about. No, but I think, I don't know if this is what you're gonna say, but when there are gonna be a lot of times where people insert their lives into you, and it's gonna be your prerogative to choose whether or not to receive that energy, and you're gonna have to. You're going to have to figure out that. You probably know this, right? So the world is not sunshine and rainbows. People are out there to get you, and this is a whole balance between optimism, pessimism. If you believe people are bad, then that's what you believe, okay? But you can't say the absolute saying, why am I not going to be receptive to someone? Because there's always the case where someone's going to be either they're going to try to manipulate you or do something, make you do something, and that's where you get that whole you build that up. So I understand what you're saying. In this case, it's a cute girl that's coming over to you. What is she gonna do? What's the cons list?
I couldn't really think of it. Yeah, I couldn't really think of it.
There's no cons list.
Like,
but if like any other person like this, like some really shady dude comes up to you and like, yo, I think you're cute. Like, what are you gonna say?
Okay. That's I mean, obviously common sense needs to be applied to these situations.
Yes.
Like, I'm not gonna be just pulling up to any like random homeless person and be like, I love you. Like, you should like come into my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
At the same time, I'm a big believer of like, I like giving people the benefit of the doubt. I will continue to give you the benefit of the doubt until you show me a reason that I shouldn't.
100%.
And there have been, even this semester alone, I felt like this man has heard about it in detail. of numerous people, of numerous situations in which I had tried to get to know them, and this is even just on sort of romantic level, like friends and like people I was trying to like connect with, whatever. And for one reason or another, our relationship fell out. Like they showed me colors about their personality that I was like, these are ugly colors.
Yeah.
These are ugly parts about you that like I don't want to associate with, because if I surround myself with people like you, that says something about me as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna
So
get
in that sense, I really did have to be like, cut. Like I'm sorry, bro. Like I'll be seeing you.
Yeah.
No hard feelings. No beef. No nothing. But I can't really be around you like that.
Yeah. Jay, that's something cool. Like this ties back to what we said about having beliefs that maybe don't represent reality. A belief I have is that humans are in general good. So as a result, if somebody's negative, bro, I cut them out. Like full stop, because I know that
Negative, like their perspective is negative.
like my life is worse when I spend time with them.
Yeah.
And I feel worse about myself when I spend time with them. And I feel hopeless.
So they just give off a negative energy.
Yes, and and so because my belief is that people are generally good. So I believe there are so many people who are positive. Why would I spend time with this person? Whereas if you believe that most people are negative, you might think, oh, these people are cool, but they're also negative, but most people are negative. So I'll just stay. Bro, no.
Real shit.
Yeah. Even though there's definitely a lot of negative people out there, I see very few of them because I spend such a short period of time with them.
That's facts.
Yeah.
And
That's
your
good.
reality
That's
is what you believe. You surround yourself with.
Exactly.
Bro, literally, I remember you were asking me the other day. You're like, bro, Armand, have you ever had a bad day, bro? And I'm like, and I literally asked myself,
Have you ever?
and I was like, nah, straight up, I don't. Well, two reasons.
No,
One,
you said I choose
not to.
Man.
And two is like, I don't have any reason to have a bad day, because I'm not around motherfuckers that are constantly throwing negative energy my way.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you don't need to be around that, then just don't. But anyways, yo, we're approaching an hour and 50 minutes, so I think it's time to wrap this little guy up.
Wow, that flew by.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. It goes. So
Dude, it's 12:30, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I wanna leave off. What's a little note that everyone we'll go around in the circle. One thing you gotta say. It doesn't like it could be however long you want it. Just something short and sweet, quality information. Anyone want to start us off?
You can't come in or. No, I'm playing.
That's crazy. No, Rion is still single. I'll put his Instagram in bio.
Yes.
In the fucking description.
Yeah, it's really important to speak articulately and make other people feel important and ask them questions. And you can, if there are negative people in your life, leave. Because your life will be worse and you will end up just like them. Thank you.
One thing I think about a lot is, have you ever seen Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that movie is basically about how people get carried into life. They're dragged along. And cool shit could happen with Forrest Gump, but that's not the case most of the time. Life isn't a box of chocolates all the time. So the whole point is, instead of being carried by the wind, you become the wind. So the way I'd say it is, try to make a story for yourself. Humans love stories. We are storytellers. And I think one thing that I've learned, and I think a lot of people could benefit from, is if you create a story for yourself, you're going to become a lot better in all aspects of your life.
Okay.
So that's how I'll say it. Become a storyteller.
Well, last thing. If you want to achieve your dreams and do great things, you need to juggle shirtless.
That's
in front of everybody else, bro.
Yes,
in front of
sir.
everybody else.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
You heard it here first.
You did.
Become the juggle slut.
Exactly. You guys.
The first step.
Finals.
Shit, man. I mean, I'm grateful that I was able to meet you guys, and you guys were chill ass people that I was able to just talk to like this, because I think it's rare that we're able to sit down and just really just pick each other's brains about the way our perspectives are oriented and the way we see the world and how that kind of worldview was formed, and I value those conversations the most.
Dab me up right now.
I could We could be sitting here talking about girls. We could be sitting here talking about like the whatever, like there's just random shit, and it's like that's great. I love small talk too. Like that's fine. I love to keep it light sometimes, but it's like I also really value like truly understand. Like I feel like after this conversation, you guys understand me to like a deeper, like a level below just what you have met when you saw me in the library.
Exactly.
I understand you guys now a little bit more than just when I saw you guys in the library, when you guys walked in here today.
Yeah.
Dude,
And I think getting to that deeper level of understanding between individuals and like as just people in general, that's only going to benefit society in the long run. Like we all improve, everybody improves, life gets a little bit sweeter when we do things like this.
True.
Because we bring these thoughts and these ideas out with us when we interact with everyone we're going to interact with for the rest of our lives. And if they're able to walk away from us and they get a shed of that light that we are able to emanate, like again, it just spreads. And I'd rather spread that kind of positivity, that joy, and that light than all the negative ass bullshit. Because there's already enough people doing that.
True.
The slime and the ick.
Yeah,
the darkness, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like there's already too many people doing that.
Yeah.
And they don't even know they're doing it. Like that's the worst part. So it's like us, we like we have a mission to like we have an obligation like to do that, to spread whatever it is that we want to spread.
Okay.
For the sake of other people. And I'm glad that we were able to, just with each other we were able to do that.
Yeah, bro.
Hell
Good
yes.
shit. Well said.
Hell yes.
I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. So keep your circle small. Keep it real.
That's good.
Take care of the people. It's not original.
It's
It's not original. But you know, like keep your circle however small or however big you want it, but just make sure it's filled with people that you really give a shit about and that you want the best for them and they want the best for you. Because I feel like the main topic of this was like you become a product of your environment, right? But it's true. Don't take it for granted, and wherever you are in your life right now, you can make that change. So it all starts up here. It all starts in your mind. It all starts with how you choose to think, but it's all fucking possible. So thank you guys so much for listening. I'm going to leave all these motherfuckers' Instagrams or contact information in the description. And much love, y'all. Take care, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.